Welcome to Critical Condition Sports. My name is Jose Matos, and welcome to this edition of this video. So this is going to be a different kind of video for me. I'm actually going to take a step back from the sports world, and I'm actually going to be doing my very first review on a TV season. Cobra Kai Season 3 was released on New Year's Day, and I was actually finally to be able to actually watch the entire season. Now, for this review, though, and it's a very special one for me, I actually have a very special guest. I have Luc LaPointe from the Silver Screen Talk, which is a channel here on YouTube as well, which you can find linked in the description below. How you doing, Luc?
Doing all right, Jose. How's your day going?
It's going good, brother. You know, watch some football. Playoffs are full in effect. You know, saw a heartbreaker earlier, man. You know,
Yeah.
you know what that is, man. How's your day going?
It's going all right. Going all right. Good to have some super wild card week. More games to watch. Always a good scene. And getting back to school, everything getting set.
Oh man, so you're in the thrust of just being real busy right now. I'm assuming then.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show, man.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting me on.
For sure, man. So you have a channel here on YouTube, correct?
Yeah. I review movies, TV. Cobra Kai is my first TV review, and just like to, I love movies. They're a big part of my life. I like to talk about them with people who care about them as much as I do. That's the whole pitch of my channel. I talk a lot about movies with my family, whatever. They don't care as much as I do, so I come to YouTube to be able to do that.
Awesome. So how long have you been going at this?
So I started about middle of July, and kind of just started on a whim, watching movie YouTube channels for years, and I said, why don't I do it? So I started doing it, and then I took a YouTube course with Sean Chandler. You are a part of that,
Yeah.
And just been trying to grow since then, trying to learn, and I think 2021 is going to be a good year.
Awesome, brother. Well, I definitely seems like I have the right guy to join me in this journey right here, brother.
Beautiful.
So, awesome, man. So let's get started, man. So let's talk about the good with Cobra Kai Season 3. What did you really like about this season, Luc?
So with Cobra Kai Season 3, the cast, as always, is exceptional. Daniel LaRusso is a great character. Johnny Lawrence is a great character. And they work really well together on screen. They have great on-screen chemistry. And then one of the things I love the most is it brings Johnny back into almost like a square one like he had in Season 1. Kind of a new low point after everything that happened with the high school fight. And kind of the chemistry he had to build up again with Miguel and, teach him in a different way, be a father figure, be a mentor to him in a different way, in a different scenario. But it allows us to see that dynamic that works so well in Season 1. I love the guest appearances that we had throughout the season, whether it be Daniel's trip to Okinawa. I liked the appearances made in that movie. I love Karate Kid 2. I love to see characters from that movie. And they played a good role, as well as Allie. That was one of my biggest excitements and fears of Season 3 was I knew they were going to bring Elizabeth Shue back. I didn't know what capacity they were going to bring her back in. And to see her come back and be used in an almost minimalist role where she can move the plot forward, but she doesn't have to create too much conflict or anything. I think that was very well done. She actually helped Johnny in terms of his character development. And I think that was very nice, as well as just everything that happens, whether it's a character appearance or something that's said or done in the first half of the season, plays in the second half of the season. It comes back in a big way. It pays off, so it keeps the audience engaged because everything that happens matters.
For sure. I'm going to definitely agree with you on that. I really liked how you felt the consequences from, such a crazy finale that Season 2 was. You definitely felt the effects after that, because normally when you watch a TV show, some of the times though, and you've seen this happen, where they brush off everything that happened the previous season like it didn't even exist. So what this season did to me was, you felt the effect, you felt the consequences, you felt the relationship between Miguel and Johnny, be such a rocky spot. Obviously, like you said, him having to start all over again and build himself way back up when it comes to that kind of stuff. What I really liked is, so you made a good point, the whole alley thing. I was a little bit nervous just because of the fact that I felt like it could have been something where they would have made like this love triangle. So I was very happy that they didn't do that. They skipped on that. It helped move and help Johnny grow as a person. I really enjoyed that. Believe it or not, I actually enjoyed some of those Kreese flashbacks. Some of it was a little bit too crazy for me, and we'll talk about that when it comes to the bad, but I liked getting a backstory because of the fact that in the movies, Kreese was just this jerk. And we
Yeah, he
perceived
was
him.
the guy that
Yeah,
he was just there in the plot to hate and just
exactly.
it didn't have much of a he didn't have much of a personality beyond that.
Yeah, exactly. He was just the bad guy,
Yeah.
And yeah, so what I liked about this season is they gave you some backstory and it shows you, that he didn't start off that way. It shows you, I guess the event that led him to become, I guess, that certain way that in the Crease that we know today. So I really enjoyed that. I liked how no filler episodes. That was great. I feel like every single thing
Hmm.
that was done was was in order to help the plot. Okinawa, they didn't overstay that as well. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed those two
I was
episodes.
excited when I saw that in the trailer,
Yeah,
and I knew like okay, we're gonna get some references, we're gonna get some callbacks to Karate Kid 2. Don't overdo it. Don't make it like a whole half a season, subplot.
yeah.
They did it in about an episode and a half, and I think it functioned really well into Daniel's character development.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the acting as well. I thought it was
Hmm.
great. Again, my favorite scenes are usually the ones with Johnny and Miguel. I feel like they're the heart of the show in that sense
Hmm.
when it comes to that kind of stuff. Obviously, William Zabka is phenomenal, and he does have good chemistry with every single person that he does come in interaction there with that. And I really enjoyed more than anything. I enjoyed the choreography when it comes to the fighting. I felt like a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
stuff is well done on there. Anything
yeah, and
else?
I will right back up with you there. The choreography, the fight choreography. I'm a martial artist,
Yeah,
done karate, black belt, do boxing, do some judo, and so I like to see when this stuff is depicted on screen.
yeah,
And I love the way that it's shot, where you don't have these quick cuts. It reminds me sort of like John Wick, where it takes these long takes, the circular motion of the camera moving around the scene instead of cutting right to something. And so
definitely.
it sets up a sense of continuity, and you feel like you're part of the fight, and you feel like you know everything that's going on. I think they do that very intelligently. The first real taste of that was the high school fight in season 2, which I really enjoyed. And I think it just you're able to focus on the big picture, and then when they want to, they can focus on these one versus one melees.
Yeah,
And I just really enjoyed that.
yeah. What I also did like was I guess the development in Hawk's character. I thought
Yeah,
that was some solid work. Was a little bit too obvious for me there. Just I mean, because we knew
you knew
eventually, I guess
something was
how.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like he felt guilty as he was doing certain deeds on the show. So
And
I
the
really
second they
liked his
brought
character.
it, yeah, the
Yeah,
second they brought in Kyler, the bully from season 1, I'm like,
yeah,
okay, well, you can see Hawk starting to crack,
yeah,
and you're like, okay, well, you feel something's gonna come of this, after certain characters got expelled from the dojo, whatever. You're like, you could see Hawk starting to turn, and so while I did enjoy his turn, I
yeah,
think that it was a little telegraphed. I did love Robbie's turn though. I think it was very logical. I think it made sense for the plot, and
yeah.
I think it sets up season 4 really well. The conflict in season 4 really well.
Exactly. To have, these the mentors, people that he's supposed to look up to, and then you see him go down, like make a little Star Wars reference, the dark side in a sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there you go. And see his path there, which is something they've been working on since season 1. What I really liked as well, one final thing that I want to point out though, is that I really like how this show was able to bring back some characters from season 1 and put them back in, like when you talked about Kyler and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Obviously, not every single thing that's happened on this series is forgotten, so I really like that. Again, most shows have introduced some characters and then you never see them again for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So I thought that was really good. Even though we were missing a couple characters in season 3, I felt like that in itself made up for those absences on there. Anything else you want to add, Luke?
I think they were able to balance drama and
Yeah.
comedy pretty well in this. This is an inherently goofy show.
Yes.
It's inherently goofy when you are talking about warring dojos. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
fun, but it is a goofy thing to do. Like I did martial arts for a long time. Never had
Yeah.
warring dojos.
Yeah.
So, you're able to balance that kind of comedic side. Yeah, this is gang wars with karate,
Yeah.
and just the comedic, the dramatic side of like that teen melodrama. I think they do that very well.
Yeah, Ali and piggyback off that, and just say I really always enjoy some of Johnny's theatrics when it comes to like training Miguel.
Yeah.
We were able to get that back in this season. So I thought that was real funny. I obviously enjoyed that. So now let's talk about the bad, because, not everything's perfect, and not everything's perfect. So with this season, there were a couple little things that you needed some work on and weren't exactly, the best. What did you point out, Luke? What can you point out?
So like I did say, this show is inherently goofy. And one of the things is you have to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief with this. And I think that one of the things that needs to do better is kind of bring it into a more serious light, because I think that's kind of what they've been moving to a little more. Like you can have comedic moments, but you turn this into more of a teen melodrama, which I'm fine with, whatever. But make this more serious, so we're not just taken out of it by the fact that, hey, it's gang wars with dojos. And I think there was some lack of consequences throughout the season, in terms of some of the stuff like the Cobra Kai does. The fact that for example, they break into a zoo, steal a cobra, and nothing happens of it. You'll have certain fights at school, whatever. They have the fight during the soccer game at gym. Nothing happens to that. So there needs to be some more consequences set up, because this is set in a real, pretty realistic world. So there needs to be some realism to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I didn't like the Kreese stuff as much. Like, I enjoyed that we got to dive into Kreese's backstory. It was some of it felt a little forced and over the top. I do think he's a Vietnam veteran. You can kind of basically mold him based off that, with the PTSD and all of that. But some of that with the POW camp and the fighting the Cobras, whatnot, it felt a little over the top.
For sure.
It felt like a much different change of pace compared to everything else in present day.
Yeah. So the consequence thing, definitely didn't see how nobody got in trouble for, breaking Dimitri's arm. Didn't really. Yeah. There was you didn't feel enough consequence. And as far as the Cobra stuff, I do agree. So that was probably the only thing I didn't really like about, the Kreese flashbacks. I feel like there's more interesting ways on how you could have brought up the whole Cobra thing and Cobra Kai, and why the Cobra's I guess the quote unquote mascot, or, the logo of the dojo. So I do agree with that. I feel like there is a sense of realisticness that isn't happening. Like, the whole Miguel walking thing. It was a fantastic story. It was fun to watch, but it happened pretty fast.
It felt like it happened in a couple of weeks. Like, he's out of the hospital, he gets surgery, and next thing you know, he's walking. Look, there are people have this type of surgery and it works, but that's after years of therapy, stuff like that. I know you have to speed it up for plot purposes, but realistically.
For sure, man. So that was one of those things that I didn't like. Another thing is some of the things did feel a little bit repetitive. Like the whole Robbie getting let down again by his father. Dan and John. I love the scenes between William Zabka and Ralph Macchio. Then they're fantastic. But it's always, I feel like it did get a little bit repetitive. They get together. It seems like they resolve some of their issues. They're working together.
And then something happens.
Yeah, and then they split and go their separate ways, and that's it. So there was a little bit of that. Obviously, both of those guys are very talented in acting, and they can drive their own separate plots there. But I would have really enjoyed some more scenes and interactions between them two. Anything else?
Yeah, I think they have great, like you said, they have great chemistry together. Yeah. And, it feels like when they get together every time, it feels like they are building to something, and it's almost like a tease. It gets pulled away from us. That's one thing I'm just like, hey, they do work well together. Exactly. And, I hope season 4 just keeps that building, like the momentum they built at the very end in terms of them coming together. I hope nothing happens in terms of tearing them apart, because I think they do work really well together. I don't think there is a rivalry there anymore. And I think these are two characters with a common goal that need to be together on screen. Like you said, William Zabka and Ralph Macchio, two great actors. So I do want to see them on screen more in season 4.
Definitely. And I feel like they balance each other out well. Ralph Macchio is a more serious guy,
Yeah, he's a straight man to William Zabka is just kind of wacky, dude, 40-year-old dude or 50-year-old dude who's still stuck in 1985.
Yeah, exactly. Or the fact that he doesn't know how to run a computer. I always found that.
Yeah.
And I always found that very funny there. What did you think of the finale itself?
I enjoyed it. I think everything came together really well. Like I said, I love the fight was incredible. I love the fight choreography. I think everything that happened at the end made sense. I think
Okay.
what character turns, whether it be Robbie or Hawk, everything does make sense. And I think that, Kreese does have to be more of in the front in season 4. And I just think everything was set up very well. I figured there was going to be a season 4. This show is very successful.
For sure.
People love it. Season 4 is going to get greenlit the second season 3 drop. And I think they did set up season 4 pretty well, where I think it's actually going to ground season 4 more, bring it back more to the show's roots, like season 1's roots, or the Karate Kid's roots in general, where it's less about war and dojos and it's more about martial arts in general, and something like the All Valley tournament. I do think that's going to benefit.
Yeah. Now, my level of disappointment here with the season just came because again, real huge fan of the old Karate Kid movies. I really wanted to see some of the All Valley tournament stuff get in there. Obviously, we're guaranteed that the next season we will be in that kind of a setting, which is pretty much what you're referring to, in the sense where you wanted to just really be full on karate and not this whole war on dojos thing. So for me, that was just a little bit disappointing. Would have been cool if, what do you call it? LaRusso would have finished off Kreese there. Obviously that wasn't going to happen.
That would have been, it would have been an interesting character turn, to say the least. It would have been what people would have said out of character for Danny, but honestly, I would have enjoyed it because it's something that I feel like it's a long time coming.
Yeah, and, obviously we got the fight. Difference between this finale and the last finale is we got such a huge fight towards the end to really close it out that, for this season, we got, the fight coming in such an earlier stage of the show. But I do understand why they did it. Obviously, they wanted to tie up loose ends, do their plot, get through their plot points, get through the turns, and then obviously, go to the ending. And I think they did a fantastic job in setting up season 4. Obviously, the whole All Valley tournament thing, that's just like a fan thing. Obviously, I think, still done very well, but I'm very excited for what season 4 has got to bring. What are you excited for the most, Luke?
I'm just excited to see kind of what type of character interactions we get in season 4. I'm excited to see what they do with Tori. I think she's an interesting character. I do love Peyton List. I started watching when I was a lot younger on Disney Channel, stuff like that. And, I love the, her path she's taken as an actress. I think that she is pretty badass. She does well as Tori, and it'll be interesting to see, like, we dove into her character more. And so she's not just some crazy girl. You see some motivation behind her.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what path they take her on, because she can go one way or the other in terms of, kind of more of a redemption arc, or just a path into darkness a little more. Excited to see what they do there. I'm excited to see it be a more basic season. I'm excited to bring all the All Valley stuff into this, and I think is diving into the philosophy of martial arts a little more. I love to see that stuff. So I am very excited for season 4.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to get that. So there you go, everybody. That was the review. Do you agree with Luke or myself? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Luke, anything you want to share with the audience before we sign out?
It's a great channel. I can't wait. I hope to talk to you about some sports too. I'd love to get involved, talk some sports. Come over to my channel if you love some movie reviews, rankings. That is my big thing, my top 10 Tuesdays. Let me know what you want to hear down in my comment section as well. I always love to make have a conversation with my viewers. Thank you so much, guys. I'm very happy that I got to be a part of this.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to have Luke's accounts linked in the description below this video. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me on today's video. Very special one. Thanks again, Luke. I appreciate it, and I appreciate taking the time, buddy.
Thanks so much.
All right. Take care, everybody.